Some people move through life as if they're wrapped in a quiet, invisible strength. The world shakes, people panic, emotions explode. Yet these individuals remain steady. Their voice doesn't rise, their face doesn't twist with stress, and their decisions stay clear even in moments that would make most hearts race. And if you've ever met someone like that, you've probably wondered, how? How do they stay so calm when everyone else is spiraling? Before we continue, make sure you subscribe, because what you're about to hear will change the way you see calm people forever. And you don't want to miss the rest of this series. The truth is their calmness isn't laziness, and it definitely isn't indifference. It's something deeper, something shaped by childhood experiences, emotional maturity, psychological instincts, and what Carl Jung famously called individuation, the lifelong journey of discovering your true self. Calm people aren't born calm, they become calm. Life teaches them to observe instead of react, to pause instead of explode, and to understand instead of judge. While others get swept away by chaos, calm people carry their own inner weather. Their peace doesn't come from avoiding problems. It comes from a place inside themselves, a place they've built, protected, and returned to again and again. And if you think that's fascinating, keep watching till the end, because the truth only gets deeper. What makes them so strong on the inside? Why does their calm sometimes intimidate people? And how does Jungian psychology explain the mystery behind their unshakable nature? Stay with me. And yes, don't forget to subscribe, because this journey is just getting started. Calm people often have one thing in common. Their emotional control was forged early in life. While many imagine they grew up in peaceful homes, the opposite is often true. Some were raised in households where they had to be the stable one. They watched adults explode, argue, or act unpredictably. And somewhere deep inside, they made a decision. I will not be like that. If this already resonates with you, hit that subscribe button, because the psychology behind this is powerful. Others grew up with emotional neglect, learning to suit themselves because no one else did. Jung believed the personality adapts to survive, and these individuals grew what he called a quiet ego, a part of the self that stays inward, observant, and self-contained. They discovered young that raising their voice solves nothing, that reacting instantly only adds fuel to chaos, that peace isn't found outside, it's created inside. These lessons weren't learned gently, they were learned through experience, through pain, through moments when they had to be stronger than their age. And over time, what began as a coping mechanism transformed into emotional strength. Their calmness became their armor. Their silence became their strategy. Their self-control became their superpower. But the story gets even more intriguing because their calmness doesn't just come from childhood. It's reinforced by deep psychological patterns Jung identified long ago. Stay with me till the end, because the deeper we go, the clearer their entire personality becomes. And if you haven't yet, subscribe so you don't miss the next part. Calm people have a rare and beautiful relationship with silence, while most people run from it, fearing what their own thoughts might reveal. Calm individuals step into silence like stepping into a warm room. Jung believed that silence is the doorway through which the unconscious mind speaks, and calm people know this instinctively. Silence is where they think, where they heal, and where their emotional world settles into clarity. Before we go deeper, make sure you subscribe, because the psychology we're about to uncover next is one most people never hear. But everyone should. For many, silence feels awkward. It exposes emotions they haven't faced. It reveals inner noise they've been avoiding. That's why people talk endlessly, scroll constantly, or fill every moment with distraction. But calm people don't fear that inner noise. They listen to it. They sit with it. They understand that silence sharpens their intuition, strengthens their awareness, and helps them see what others overlook. They use silence to observe, to understand, to notice the unspoken, the body language, the emotional tension, the subtle shifts in tone. In silence, they connect deeply with themselves, and that inner connection becomes their outer calm. So stay to the end, and yes, subscribe, because the next part will reveal something even more powerful about the mind of a calm person. Carl Jung often used water as a symbol for the unconscious mind. And if there were ever a personality that fits that metaphor, it's the calm one. Their mind is like deep water, quiet on the surface, but full of strength, depth, and hidden currents underneath. Many people live like shallow rivers, noisy, fast-moving, reacting to every pebble that falls in. But calm people? They are the ocean, still on top, powerful below. Hit subscribe if you're finding this fascinating, because what comes next reveals why calm people are so misunderstood. Calm individuals don't react to every wave that hits them. They take in a situation, feel the emotions, let the moment settle, and then choose their response with precision. Their decisions aren't impulsive, they're intentional. Temporary emotions do not control their long-term actions. Their mind absorbs information before their mouth speaks. They process feelings internally long before anything shows on the outside. This makes them appear mysterious, sometimes even unreadable, not because they're hiding, not because they're distant, but because their thoughts run deeper than most people realize. What you see on the surface is only a fraction of what's happening beneath. And that depth is exactly what gives them their power. Stay with me till the end, and remember to subscribe, because the next insight will take you even deeper into the psychology of calm people, deeper than the surface ever could. Carl Jung often described the unconscious mind as a vast ocean, mysterious, powerful, and infinitely deep. And calm people reflect that exact metaphor. On the surface, they seem still and composed, but beneath that quiet exterior lies a mind full of depth, insight, and emotional intelligence. Their personality is like deep water, peaceful to the eye, yet strong enough to shape its own world. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe, because the deeper we go, the more fascinating this psychology becomes. And you won't want to miss what's coming. Calm people don't react to every wave that hits them. When life throws challenges their way, they don't splash or panic. They observe the wave, they feel it, and only after understanding its direction do they decide how to respond. Their actions are not knee-jerk reactions. They're carefully chosen responses. Temporary emotions don't control them. Stress, anger, fear. These pass like ripples. They allow emotions to move through them without letting those emotions decide their future. Their mind absorbs information before their mouth speaks. They process quietly, internally, before showing the world anything. This deep water nature makes them appear mysterious. You never fully know what they're thinking, not because they're hiding, but because their thoughts run deep. Their silence isn't emptiness, it's fullness. Stay to the end, and yes, don't forget to subscribe, because next, we'll uncover a psychological habit calm people use to protect their inner world. Calmness is not emotional numbness. Calm people feel everything. They just don't let everything claim their energy. Jung described this as self-possession, the ability to remain in control of your own psyche instead of allowing external chaos to hijack your emotions. And this is where calm people excel. They know how to detach. When a conversation gets heated, they step back mentally. When someone tries to provoke them, they don't give their energy. When a situation becomes messy or emotionally charged, they breathe before they speak. And if you're finding this eye-opening, make sure you subscribe, because this series is just getting richer. Calm people choose their battles with incredible precision. They don't get dragged into every argument. They don't feel the need to correct every misunderstanding. They don't respond to every emotional outburst around them. The powerful truth? They don't let anyone drag them into a war they did not choose. This emotional detachment protects their inner peace. It allows them to move through life without becoming overwhelmed by other people's storms. Detachment for them is not running away. It's stepping back just far enough to remain stable, rational, and centered. Keep watching till the end, and don't forget to subscribe, because next we reveal a hidden superpower calm people rarely talk about, even though it shapes everything they do. While others talk, interrupt, debate, and react, calm people are busy doing something else entirely. They observe. They watch the room, the energy, the tone, the shifts, the tension. They read people the way others read text. Calm people can sit quietly and still see the whole picture. And according to Jung, this is because they have stronger access to their intuitive function, the part of the psyche that senses what lies beneath the surface. If this resonates with you, hit subscribe, because the next insight will explain why their intuition is almost always accurate. Calm observers notice what others overlook. Who is lying? Who is insecure? Who is pretending? who is hurting, who is manipulating, who is genuine. Their lack of noise allows them to see more. Their silence opens up room for intuition. Their calmness sharpens their perception. This is why calm people often spot danger early, recognize intentions instantly, and understand emotions without needing them to be explained. Stay with me. This gets even deeper. And remember to subscribe, because what comes next will show you the core of their inner power. Calm people don't follow the crowd. They don't need the approval of the group. And they definitely don't panic just because everyone else is panicking. Their strength comes from an inner voice that is louder than the noise of the world. Jung believed this inner voice is the unconscious guiding the conscious mind, a kind of internal compass that points toward truth, intuition, and self-awareness. Calm individuals trust this compass. Before I explain how powerful this makes them, take a moment to subscribe, because you won't want to miss the next layers of their psychology. When their inner voice says wait, they wait. When it says walk away, they walk away. When it says stay silent, they stay silent. And when it says speak, they speak with clarity. This inner guidance keeps them grounded, wise, and extremely difficult to influence. While others get pulled by trends, emotions, pressure, or opinions, calm people stay firmly rooted in who they are. This is why they rarely regret their decisions. They weren't made out of fear or impulse, but out of inner clarity. Stay till the end, and yes, subscribe, because the next part will reveal the hidden emotional depth behind their calm exterior. And it may surprise you. One of the most powerful traits calm people possess is their ability not to take things personally. While many get offended quickly or assume every comment is about them, calm people move differently. They don't let words pierce their peace. They don't interpret criticism as an attack. They don't assume someone's tone or bad mood is their responsibility. Before we dive deeper, make sure you subscribe, because the psychology we're exploring next will connect perfectly with Jung's most profound concepts. Calm individuals understand something most people forget. People react from their own fears, wounds, stresses, and insecurities. Someone snaps not because you failed, but because they are overwhelmed. Someone criticizes not because you're wrong, but because they feel inferior. Someone withdraws not because you're unimportant, but because they are hurting. And here's where Jung comes in. His concept of shadow projection explains that people often project their unresolved issues onto others. Their frustration becomes your fault. Their insecurity becomes your responsibility. Their fear becomes your burden. But calm people see through this illusion. They refuse to absorb what does not belong to them. A powerful truth defines their mindset. They don't take your storm personally, because they know it's not about them. Stay to the end and don't forget to subscribe, because the next part reveals how calm people transform their emotions into strength. People often assume calm individuals don't feel much, but that's not true at all. Calm people feel deeply. They simply transform their emotions instead of being controlled by them. This is what Jung would call emotional integration, the process of meeting your emotions consciously instead of avoiding or resisting them. And if you're enjoying this breakdown, hit that subscribe button, because we're about to enter the heart of their emotional power. Calm people practice emotional alchemy. When they feel anger, they don't explode, they stop, breathe, and let the anger reveal what needs to change. When sadness comes, they don't drown. They sit with it and understand what it's trying to teach them. When fear shows up, they don't freeze. They prepare and plan. They redirect emotion instead of letting it derail them. They reflect before they react. They think before they speak. They pause before they make decisions. Their emotions don't own them. They shape their wisdom. For calm people, anger becomes clarity. Sadness becomes understanding. Fear becomes preparation. Disappointment becomes wisdom. This emotional alchemy is why they seem unshakable. They're not suppressing emotions. They're transforming them into insight. Stay with me, because the next part explains why calm people walk away faster than anyone else. And yes, remember to subscribe. Calm people don't cling. They don't beg. They don't force. They don't chase chaos or arguments. They know exactly when it's time to walk away, and they do it without drama. Their decisions are guided by inner peace, not desperation. Jung called this part of the individuation process. choosing a path that aligns with your true self rather than the expectations of others. And calm people take this seriously. If something threatens their peace, a toxic relationship, a manipulative conversation, a disrespectful tone, a draining situation, they quietly step back, not out of coldness, but out of self-protection. Not because they don't care, but because they care enough about themselves. Walking away is not weakness for them. It is wisdom. It is strength. It is freedom. Before we move forward, take a second to subscribe, because the next insight explains why calm people make others surprisingly nervous. Here's a psychological twist many never expect. Calm people often make others uncomfortable, not because they're doing anything wrong, but because their calmness disrupts the emotional patterns of those around them. When someone expects anger and gets stillness, it unsettles them. When someone tries to provoke but gets no reaction, it frustrates them. When someone brings drama and receives peace, it confuses them. Calm people don't mirror chaos. They don't feed negativity. They don't get pulled into emotional whirlwinds. And for some people, that's intimidating. Stay till the end, and don't forget to subscribe, because this part reveals one of the most fascinating psychological effects. Calmness exposes what others try to hide. It highlights insecurity. It reveals impulsiveness. It makes manipulation less effective. It removes emotional control from the hands of those who depend on reactions. This is why some interpret calmness as arrogance or distance. But that's not the truth. Calm people simply refuse to play emotional games. Their maturity makes others confront their own emotional chaos. Calmness is not a mask, it's a mirror. And when people look into it, they sometimes see parts of themselves they'd rather ignore. Stay with me, because the next section will reveal the final layer behind why calm people are some of the most powerful personalities Jung ever described. Calm people don't need to demand attention. Attention naturally moves toward them. There's something deeply safe about their presence, something quiet yet powerful that makes others feel understood even without words. Children sense this first. A calm person enters the room, and a child naturally relaxes. Animals feel it too. They instinctively trust someone whose energy is steady. Even strangers open up to them in waiting rooms on buses during random moments in life, because calmness feels like shelter in a noisy world. Friends often come to them for advice not because they know everything, but because they listen without judgment. Calm energy is rare, and rare energy attracts. Jungian psychology describes this as a self-realized aura, a natural psychological grounding that comes from someone who knows themselves. You can't fake it. You can't copy it. You can only become it by understanding your inner world. People are drawn to calm individuals because they feel less alone, less tense, and less rushed when they are near them. Calmness becomes a quiet invitation. It's okay. You're safe here. You can breathe. And that kind of energy is magnetic. One of the most defining traits of calm people is their relationship with words. They don't speak just to fill space, and they don't rush into conversations without thinking. When they talk, their words feel intentional, almost crafted. Jung believed that conscious speech reflects a conscious mind, and calm people embody this perfectly. They pause, they think, and only then do they respond. This is why they rarely say things they regret. They don't lash out. They don't engage in petty arguments. They don't spill secrets in anger or throw words around like weapons. Their speech carries weight because it comes from reflection, not impulse. Most people talk to escape silence. Calm people talk to share clarity. When they speak, you listen not because their voice is loud, but because it feels grounded. Even in disagreements, they choose clarity over chaos, understanding over proving a point. Their thoughtful communication makes others feel heard and respected. People trust their words because they know those words were chosen, not tossed out carelessly. Calm people live with a deep understanding that not everything is meant to stay. They don't try to control every outcome or force people to behave a certain way. They know that life has its own rhythm, and resisting it only creates suffering. Jung emphasized this acceptance as a sign of inner maturity, the ability to allow life to unfold without clinging. Calm people don't fight reality. They don't obsess over what could have been or what should have happened. They don't replay conversations in their minds for hours. Instead, they let go not because they don't care, but because they know holding on to pain, regret, or expectations only steals their peace. Their mindset becomes simple but powerful. If it belongs in my life, it will stay. If it leaves, it is protection. Letting go frees them from emotional chains that many people remain stuck in. They stop carrying heavy memories. They stop chasing closure from others. They stop trying to fix people who don't want to be fixed. And in that letting go, their calmness deepens. Peace grows where resistance ends. Calm people rarely try to lead, but they often become leaders anyway. Their presence becomes a grounding force in moments of stress, confusion, or crisis. People instinctively look to them when things feel uncertain, because calmness is a form of authority, even if it's silent. They don't shout instructions. They don't dominate conversations. Instead, they become the steady center that others orbit around. Jung believed that individuals who integrate their shadow become anchors of consciousness, people who carry a stable, balanced mind that influences everyone around them. In families, calm people are the ones everyone calls when things go wrong. In workplaces, they are the ones coworkers trust with sensitive problems. Among friends, they are the quiet advisors, the ones who listen deeply and offer grounded perspective. The interesting part is, they don't intend to guide anyone. They simply live in a peaceful inner state, and others subconsciously follow that example. Their emotional stability becomes a map for people who feel lost, and without trying, they become the calm in someone else's storm. On the surface, calm people may look naturally peaceful, but deep inside, their calmness is built on something powerful: self-acceptance. They have stopped fighting who they are. They don't hide from their flaws, their fears, or their past. They have faced their inner world and learned to live with it. Jung believed that true calmness comes from integrating the self, accepting both the light and the shadow. Calm people don't pretend to be perfect. They know their weaknesses, but they don't let those weaknesses define them. They've made peace with their history, their mistakes, and the parts of themselves others may never see. When someone accepts themselves fully, the world loses its power to shake them. Criticism doesn't wound them deeply. Failure doesn't destroy them. Conflict doesn't overwhelm them. They remain calm because their inner world isn't a battlefield. Their mind is not torn between who they are and who they think they should be. They live honestly, and that honesty creates harmony. Their calmness is not a mask. It is the natural result of inner unity. Calmness is not something people are simply born with. It is not just a personality trait or a natural gift. It is a journey, a long, quiet journey of learning, healing, observing, letting go, and discovering oneself. Calm people didn't wake up one day with inner peace. They earned it through self-awareness and inner work. If you wish to become calmer, you don't need to transform into someone else. You don't need to force silence or pretend to be peaceful. Instead, you need to return to the version of yourself that existed before the noise, before the pressure, before the world told you who you should be. Calmness grows when you stop running from your emotions. Calmness grows when you stop reacting to everything. Calmness grows when you learn to let go. Calmness grows when you accept yourself. It's not about being emotionless. It's about being grounded. It's about knowing who you are and refusing to let chaos pull you away from that. So remember this: calm people are not empty. They are full of understanding, depth, and wisdom. Their calmness is not silence, it is power.